Hello everyone and welcome to another webinar by Royal Cyber. My name is Amar Nadeem and I'm the Senior Business Development Executive at Royal Cyber and I'll be your host for today. Before we start, if anyone is not able to view my screen or hear me properly, kindly notify me in the chat window located on the right side of the pane. Once again, if any one of you is not able to hear my voice clearly or view my screen, do notify us in the chat window located on the right side of the pane. Now, for a start, I want to talk about how reinventing your business with the power of cloud computing helps you to become both responsive and innovative. Having a cloud platform ensures seamless integration of public and private cloud environments. The infrastructure is secure, scalable, and flexible to take your business to the next frontier. Before I start, we have a great speaker with us, as always. But first, I would like to talk a little about the agenda for today and our company, Royal Cyber. Okay, for the overview, we're going to talk about a little about us and the company and how we grew since our inception. The technology stacks that we have, Royal Cyber and IBM correspondence, and our global presence. Next, we'll talk about Royal Cyber e-commerce cloud solution, the high-level benefits offerings. After that, we'll talk about Royal Cyber e-commerce components such as Mule ESB, external service providers, internally hosted services, and basically how it works. Last but not the least, we'll talk about the lightweight storefront, some of its briefing and the advantages, and the store pages. Moving forward, a little about Royal Cyber. Royal Cyber has made its way to IBM's Beacon Award since 2013 finalist by providing unmatched and quality smart commerce solution to small and large enterprise all across the globe and making the business simpler than ever before. We've also won Best Smarter Commerce Cell Award. We've also won the IBM Impact Mobile Innovation Award. Also won the Innovation in Enterprise Modernization Development in 2014. Moving on further. Now, as always, we have a great speaker with us, and before we begin our presentation on the e-commerce enterprise challenges, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker for today is Mr. Abu Dahir Salahuddin. Mr. Abu has 10 years of experience in the IT industry. He is currently working as a technical lead at Royal Cyber. Abu Dahir develops WebSphere Commerce assets and successfully implemented in healthcare and retail industry. And without any further ado, let me hand it over to Mr. Abu.
Thanks, Amar. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we get started, I have a quick word about this webcast. We are live and interactive today. We welcome your questions and feedback you to take part as much as possible. We will do our best to answer your questions during the Q&A session of the webinar. So let's get started with the presentation. To start with, let's see the common challenges that are currently faced by an e-commerce enterprise. E-commerce is not only about capturing the order. Most of the e-commerce applications mainly provide the base functionalities that are used in the order capture process. Even though there are out-of-the-box subsystems available within an e-commerce application, there is definitely a need to make use of the external service providers. I can give you a typical example. The order subsystem in WebSphere Commerce cannot be used as an order master for the enterprise because it does not provide the complete view of supply and demand across channels, which can only be provided by the order management system like Sterling OMS. The next challenge is customers expect smooth experience on all the channels. The features that are available online may not be available on a mobile app due to restrictions on the web service APIs available. For example, a single page checkout can be achieved on an online store by calling the checkout services one by one on the single page. If the same approach is used on a mobile application, it will result in loading the app page several times, which can upset the user. This can only be handled by creating a custom service within the e-commerce solution, which will call all the checkout services one by one, and this custom service should be invoked from the mobile app. The third challenge that we are seeing is business users find hard to manage different solution providers. Yes, in an e-commerce store, there will be a lot of service providers to manage, like payment provider, shipping provider, tax provider, etc. It's hard to manage them individually. The next challenge is tightly coupled integrations are always a pain. Integrating an e-commerce application with any external system should be handled with care. When it is tightly coupled, integrations can cause system failures if the external system goes down. The next challenge is migrating an application is the challenging decision that a business could take. Because migrating an e-commerce application will be a challenge if it is tightly integrated to many external systems. It will incur the same cost as it incurred for the initial integration. The final challenge that we could see is the performance of an application is directly proportional to the revenue of the enterprise. If the e-commerce application does not perform well, then it can impact the branding of the company. There will be lost revenues when customers face issues in transacting and if they abandon the cart due to the slowness of the site. So what is the solution for all of these challenges? Royal Sabre eCom Cloud Solution. A cloud-based solution which seamlessly connects any e-commerce solution with external world of solution providers and internally hosted services using a middleware. We at Royal Sabre have created this solution that will allow any e-commerce application like WebSphere Commerce, Hybris, Oracle Commerce, whether on cloud or on-prem, to easily communicate with external service providers like payment, shipping, tax system, etc. Apart from the external services, we also have implemented our own standalone services like invoice management, incident management, purchase order system, etc. These are packaged and deployed on cloud or a secured gateway. E-commerce applications can connect to both these external and internal services using the middleware. We will see this architecture, services, and details in the coming slides. So this is the high-level architecture of the Royal Sabre eCom Cloud solution. You can see three different participants. One is the user, which is on the right-hand top. He's the online shopper. Second one is the business user, or the admin user of the e-commerce application, which is on the right-hand side. There is also an online shopper below the business user. And the third user is the customer care representative. There are three main entities if you look at this. First is the e-commerce application. Second is the external service providers. And third one is the RC eCom Cloud. The e-commerce application can be any. It can be WebSphere Commerce, Hybris, Oracle Commerce, or any other application. The components of an e-commerce application constitutes the web server, application server, search server, and its database. It closely interacts with the RC eCom Cloud. The RC eCom Cloud constitutes the middleware, which is the Mule ESB. In other words, it's the MuleSoft. The internal services, which are the internally hosted services, are Royal Sabre standalone services, and the database. So all these three constitutes the RC eCom Cloud. This RC eCom Cloud communicates with the external service providers. These are the external vendor systems that can be connected to the e-commerce application system. We have the list, and it is the internal internet payment service provider, tax, shipping, marketplace, order management system, marketing, product information management, BI, mobile app, and the chat. As said earlier, we have packaged all our standalone systems and deployed on our cloud. The external and internal services together complete the ecosystem of an e-commerce application. We will see the details of this in the next slides. Apart from this, you could see the different consoles and storefronts on the right-hand side. The RC eCom console, it is the admin console or the admin panel that we offer to the client to log in and to manage the services they want. They can opt in or opt out any services from the external service providers or the internally hosted services. So all these are managed within this console. There are other two storefronts which are run by AngularJS storefronts. So one is for the actual online shopper, which replaces the conventional shopping site, and the second one is the customer care flavor storefront. So what are all the benefits of going with Royal Cyber eCom Cloud solution? So it is an easy plug-and-play solution. Business users can change the service providers whenever it is needed, and it will not require any change on the e-commerce side. Only the configuration details need to be included on the RC eCom whenever a new service provider is added. The next benefit is it is a cloud-based secured implementation. As I said earlier, it is a cloud-based solution. The RC eCom application and the internally hosted services are protected over firewalls and intrusion detection. All these data that are saved are encrypted. We have a data backup process well maintained, which reduces the risk of data loss. The SAS audits are put in place, like SSAE, SAS, to ensure more security. The third benefit is integrations made easy using a middleware. The e-commerce solution will not have any dependency on the integration module. It just needs the client to invoke and consume the services that are hosted on the middleware. Any changes that happens on the service provider side, to give an example, if there is an API change in the cyber source payment module, the e-commerce application need not worry about, since the client request and response will remain the same, and only the middleware ESB will have all the changes to accommodate, which is very well handled at the mule side. The next benefit is this solution is highly scalable, reliable, and cost-effective. Any new service provider connectors can be easily created and hosted on Mule upon request. For example, if the business needs a new payments system like Braintree to be integrated onto their e-commerce application, there is no need for integration in the e-commerce application. Instead, we will just create the connector for the Braintree and host it on our Mule cloud. And once the business user will select this payment method using the RC eCom, it will be made available to the store. The next benefit is one place to manage everything. Now, RC eCom console, which is the admin panel, it provides access to all of the service providers, both the external ones and the internally hosted services. Business users can easily manage all of these on a single place. And you can start and stop services on the go. Business users can opt in or opt out any services based on the needs. There is no compulsion that they should subscribe for all of the services. So what do we offer for the new clients? For new clients, Royal Cyber offer the complete commerce package, which include the e-commerce application like WebSphere Commerce, Hybris, plus the RC eCom cloud service. Business users can opt for cloud or on-prem e-commerce application, but the RC eCom services remains in cloud. That is the admin panel and the internally hosted services along with the Mule. You can choose external and internal service pre-built connectors from the available list. Any new connectors can be built upon request. Since all the integration solutions are pre-packaged, we offer faster implementation and makes the application available sooner. If you already have your application, so what we provide, it doesn't matter. We help you and easily connect your existing e-commerce application with the RC eCom cloud services. You can choose external and internal service pre-built connectors from the list. And we also can build any new connectors if you request. So let us talk about the RC eCom system components. The first component is the ESB middleware. The ESB middleware is nothing but the Mule ESB, or in other words, it is the MuleSoft, which has all the connectors that can connect to the internally hosted service and also the externally available service providers. The next component is the internally hosted services, which is the invoice management, incident, LRPS, etc. The third one is the RC admin console, where the business user can log in and opt in, opt out, all the services. Finally, it is the lightweight storefront, which is built on AngularJS storefront. So let's talk about Mule ESB in detail. Mule ESB, it is a lightweight Java-based enterprise service bus that enables connections between applications quickly and easily. Mule ESB, it is an open source community edition. It can also connect anything. It is very easy to build custom connectors. The only thing that we need to take is the message transformation, because Mule will automatically take care of exposing the services to an endpoint. And there are many transformation options available. The Mule ESB connectors. These are nothing but the modules which connects the e-commerce system to the respective service provider. So Mule ESB connector is part of the Mule ESB itself. There are different modules created within Mule, like payment module, tax module, shipping module. So each module will have its own separate connectors. For example, payment connector module has PayPal invocation module and MasterPass invocation module. Business users will first select the module they want and the service providers for each of the modules selected. Based on the selection by the business user in the admin console for a particular module, the respective service provider will be invoked during the real-time call. For instance, if there is an ABC online e-commerce store, and if the admin has opted for the shipping module, and if FedEx is selected as the service provider for shipping, then when the customer lands on the shipping page, a request comes to the Mule. It reaches the shipping connector module, and FedEx connector will be invoked to retrieve the prices from the FedEx. So what are all the external service providers that we offer currently? The first one is the Internet Payment Service Provider. So this module supports authorization, settlement, reverse settlement for returns, authorize and settle functionalities. We currently have two connectors for this, PayPal and MasterPass. So PayPal One Touch, it is rich in features that is same as usual payment providers, any usual payment providers. Apart from that, it also has the mobile app payment option, which is an add-on. That's why we have selected this. The second one, which is the MasterPass, it is powered by the MasterCard. It has the digital wallet option in which the card can be stored securely. So you just log into the MasterPass and pay without any hassles. So this is all about the internal payment service provider. The next external service provider for which we have the component is the tax. The tax, it has the following APIs. One is the request tax code, submit invoice tax, and mainly we see the Avalara as one of the widely used tax system by any e-commerce company. So we do have Vertex tax system implementation on the cards. The next external service provider is the shipping module. Shipping module has get quotes, get manifest, make booking, confirm manifest APIs. Tomendo provides both domestic and international shipping options, and that is why we have chosen Tomendo for this module. We also have FedEx shipping module implementation on the cards. The next external service provider is the marketplace. For marketplace, it can be used to post the products on different shopping engines like Google, Yahoo, eBay by making use of this Go Data Feed connector. It just needs the sync of the product information from the online shopping to the marketplace, and it automatically takes care of all the message transformation and publishing it to the different shopping engines like Google and Yahoo. Next is the order management system. When do we really need an order management system component? When we have more than one sales channels And if there is any trouble in keeping customer demand, and when there is complex requirement on inventory management, then definitely there is a need for the order management system. We have the IBM Sterling OMS connector pre-built in our cloud system. So Sterling Order Management System, it is the IBM's robust order management system, which can now easily be connected using our Mule ESP. The next external service provider connector is the marketing module. So digital marketing tool is used for email marketing, design and automate customer experiences. So we have chosen IBM Marketing Cloud as it is commonly used marketing tool, which we already have integrated using their APIs, and it is available over the Mule ESP. The next component is the product information management, which is otherwise the PIM tool. When there is more than one channel, there is definitely a need to go for the product information management. Different product catalogs should be maintained when there is more than one channel. So that is the reason we have this product information management module. And product information can be maintained in PIM and exported to any e-commerce application via the Mule. Again, it is an open source PIM tool available, which has many features that a PIM tool should have. The next module is the business intelligence, or the BI. Even though we have web analytics tools such as Google Analytics, Core Metrics, they do provide real-time session data, but it cannot clearly predict the future analytics. So that is the reason we go for the BI tool. A BI tool can easily connect to any data repository, a database, a file system, or even it can make any REST API calls. And it can also make DB queries. BIM is the BI tool which we have selected, and we have built the connector for that. BIM, it is a UI-rich BI tool which is fast and also has more connecting options. We have created pre-built dashboards. So dashboard contains the clear picture on the future analytics. For example, it can show the predictions of the upcoming promotional day sales based on the historical data. It can show the order details, the user counts based on the regions, etc. So next is the mobile app. So mobile app can also be seamlessly integrated with the e-commerce solution by making use of the Mule. So what we have done in the Mule is we have exposed the e-commerce web services such as the catalog service, order service, cart service, etc. So once these services are exposed, mobile app can make a REST call to this Mule service, and it can be easily integrated with the e-commerce application. Any migration or upgrade in the e-commerce application will not affect mobile app functions because all these customizations can be easily handled within the Mule. So next we will see the list of internally hosted services that we currently offer in our cloud. So the first one is the loyalty rewards point system. A loyalty reward point system is offered to customers, those who purchase frequently, providing free merchandise, maintaining points and rewards are available in this system. We have built our own system, and it is currently available on our cloud. The next one is the purchase order service. There is no sophisticated system for purchase order in any e-commerce application. The best example is WebSphere Commerce. So all the features of purchase order are clubbed, and it is created as a standalone service, and it is hosted on the cloud. The next hosted service is the ratings and reviews. So this is again a Royal Cyber's built-in solution, wherein we have created a standalone system that can capture the reviews, it can store and it can display, and it can also give suggestions. So all these services are created in standalone, and we have exposed the REST APIs. It is made available for the storefront pages to get connected with the ratings and reviews. So the next tool is the product recommendation engine, which is again built by the Royal Cyber, and it is standalone, available on the cloud. Next service is the incident management, where customers are allowed to create any incidents. Suppose if they face any failure or if there is something gone wrong with their order, instead of calling the e-commerce support, they can straight away go and create an incident. So once the incident is created, it can be easily tracked and it will be followed up, and that's how the life cycle of the incident follows. So once it is resolved, it will be the status will be changed. The next hosted services which we have on our cloud is the invoice management. Again, this is similar to the purchase order, where the e-commerce application does not have the robustness in an invoice management. So what we have done is created a standalone invoice management hosted on the cloud, and we are exposing all of its services using RESTful web services. So these services we give as add-ons to our clients. Now we will see how this actually works. We have the business user who logs into the RC Ecom admin console, where he will be seeing all the services, external service providers and internally hosted services. So once the client is client have the credentials to all this, we do have we will create a customer ID for this admin, and that customer ID will be tied to all the components that he selects, and also the external service providers and the internally hosted services will be linked to it. So once he selects the services, it will be getting saved in the database. We have the online shoppers who shop using a tablet, a desktop, or even a mobile app. So once they land in, or once they access the store, a request passes on to the Mule API system, and this Mule will first check for the services that are currently available for that store. So it makes a call to the admin console and it fetches the data. So once the data is validated, the request will be proceeded. So once the request is authorized and authenticated, it will be invoking the respective external service providers, and it will be getting back the response. Once the response is received, it will be sent back to the e-commerce application, and that will be viewed by the end customers. So the final internally hosted services which we have is the lightweight storefront. A lightweight but a powerful storefront that replaces the conventional e-commerce online store. Any e-commerce store, for example, if you take the WebSphere Commerce application, it has the Struts framework storefront, which uses the out-of-the-box services, but still it is slow. Reason being, it passes multiple layers before it actually reaches the business logic. So what we have tried to do is we have integrated AngularJS with Mule so that it can consume the services that are exposed on an e-commerce application. So AngularJS will be framing the storefront. So whenever an AngularJS storefront is loaded, it is going to invoke the MuleSoft where all the e-commerce application services are hosted. So MuleSoft is going to pull the information by calling the RESTful services that are exposed within WebSphere Commerce or Hybris or Oracle Commerce. So once it gets back the response, it is going to transform the XML and it is going to send back the response to the AngularJS storefront. There are so many advantages of using a lightweight storefront. First, it is built on AngularJS, which is an open source. It is extremely fast, it is performance oriented, and it supports the responsive web design, so you can create any number of store flavors. For example, you can create a storefront for customer care, you can create a storefront for your mobile, for tablet, and for the normal online shopper. We do have B2C and B2B store features with different storefronts. There are multiple template storefronts, as I said earlier, and it all works on the RESTful web services call, which is really fast. It is easy to build and maintain, there is no dependency on an e-commerce specialized person to work on this. Just an UI person who knows AngularJS can easily maintain this. So these are the store pages that we have developed. So this is the category page where you can see all the details pulled from the WebSphere Commerce store. So this AngularJS store is integrated with the Mule, where it can make use of all the WebSphere Commerce store services. And in this page, you can see the Solar services and the category services, pulling up all the details and displaying. The facets on the left-hand side, the price range and the manufacturer. So all these details are from the Solar services, and content, which is the categories which displays the products, are from the category services. So this is after I select a price range. It is restricting the product. It is filtering the product. And this is a sample of the product page where it displays all the product information, product details, add to cart functionality, viewing all the other products, etc. So that's all we have for this RC Ecom cloud solution. Amar, you can take it over.
Thank you, Mr. Abu. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Abu, for the lovely presentation and walking us through the nitty-gritty stuff of the WebSphere Commerce world. Basically, for this part, we would just like to talk about the Royal Cyber clients. As you guys can see, we have worked with a plethora of clients such as Wacker Newson's, Kmart, to be at the top, T-Mobile, and HD Supply. Now for the next part, if you guys have any questions, and if you guys feel like you want to ask anything, just let us know. We're going to unmute everyone, and if you guys have any questions, do let us know. Right, once again, we are headquartered in USA. We also have offices in Australia, South Africa, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Canada, and the UK. Now, if you guys want, you guys can ask us questions right now, or if you want, you can email us on the next slide. You guys can email us at info@royalcyber.com or sales@royalcyber.com. Once again, I just want to thank everybody for joining and have a great day. Bye-bye.